Welcome back to another episode of the Bench Mob Ent podcast, the best sports podcast in New Jersey. We're trying to be here for a good time and a long time, so we need you to hit that subscribe button, like, share, tell any and everybody about the podcast so the algorithm knows this is great content that needs to go out to the masses. And y'all want to tap in. Y'all want to have the notifications on because we are having a run right now. Dwayne episode drop. We got Brad Robbins, the punter for the Bills, dropping this week. Couple players from George Mason women's team dropping next week. We got some great content coming down the pipeline. And this episode, before we get into that, fellas, how y'all doing tonight?
Doing good.
Yeah, bro. Doing good, man. Can't complain. Like you said, a lot of great content. The Dwayne episode is fire. If you don't listen to the Dwayne episode, you're an idiot. That's all I gotta say. That's a great episode. So I hope people get a chance to listen to it. That was enjoyable.
Pure Hoopers, man. Check it out, episode 383. But on this episode 384, we'll be talking about the Nuggets firing Mike Malone, John Morant, his future with the Grizzlies. Should they consider trading him? Best fits for Cooper Flagg, Walter Clayton Jr. What's his player comp? What is his ceiling as he goes into the NBA? And then we, of course, going to talk about some baseball for y'all. We said we're going to have y'all locked in with baseball this season. So we're going to talk about those torpedo bats. We're going to talk about the Mets off to a really good start. And the Yankees, we'll talk about their start, but specifically more so, Aaron Judge is off to a heater to start the year. But we are going to start off with the most relevant and the most recent news that shocked pretty much everybody across the NBA world. Mike Malone and Calvin Booth have been fired. What was your initial reactions, and what do you think this means for the Nuggets going into the playoffs?
I mean, nothing should surprise us anymore. But firing Michael Malone is just one of the craziest things I think I've ever seen in terms of just a head coach who's won a championship, who had a team that won 47 games to that point, with Russell Westbrook getting real minutes, and he coached that team to 47 wins, and that's maybe more of a Jokic thing. That's fine, but he was as much a part of them being a good to great defensive team during their championship runs as anything else. And to fire that guy, it's a really bold move, and it's a stupid move. It's incredibly stupid. We watched two contenders in the West, blow up their franchises, and one team do it in the worst way. I think obviously I think letting Luka go is worse than firing Mike Malone. You still got Jokic there, so you're still somewhat intact. But to be honest, this breakdown and this whole situation was going to come to a head when they fired Tim Connolly, who orchestrated and built, or not fired, but when they lost him. I shouldn't say fired. They lost him, and he went to Minnesota. But when they lost him and lost his services, he's the guy who went and got this team and put it together and got Jokic and got KCP and got Bruce Brown and got Christian Braun and all these guys together in the first place. Jamal Murray and all these guys. Like, he's a big architect behind all this stuff and the way this thing was built as well. So losing him was the first kind of domino to fall. Obviously, I do want to say this about Mike Malone. I think because this is important. I don't think people are going to hear this anywhere else. But I know that people they said that Mike Malone was a hard coach to play for, and he was an old school guy, and he was tough for the staffers to deal with, and tough for some of the players to deal with as well. Unless your name is Jokic or Murray, he was tough. Look, the reality is when you have a coach like him that's hard nosed and just really just stuck in his ways, right, and the way that he deals with people, there's no justification for it. No matter how much success you have as a coach, no matter how good of a coach you are, no matter what you've done, the accolades, the everything, right? All that aside, there's no good reason to treat people in a way that's inappropriate in any manner at all. And I think that's kind of what the vibe I was getting. Obviously, we know that Booth and him weren't getting along and all that stuff, but you know, um, I really think that that's something that people should really pay attention to, right? I think it's really easy to sit there and and say, that it's a stupid move to fire him. But I think the people part of it's important. I think it is important. And if he's not treating people the right way, from what we're hearing, then that's an important thing for us to kind of discuss too, because it happens at every level. Coaches get full of themselves and they treat people badly right along the way, and they kind of forget the humble beginnings where they started from. And it sounded like that could have been a bit of the reason why this happened too. So I don't know. That's just me. And if it wasn't the case, by the way, if he was treating everybody great and he was awesome to deal with, he would be here and Booth would be fired. They could have just gotten rid of Booth. They didn't do that. So obviously he had some wrongdoing and some faults in it too. Or the owner could be stupid. I'm not saying that's not possible, but I don't know, man. I don't think Mike Malone's hands are totally clean here when I hear hard-nosed coach. I know what that means.
Yeah, I don't think his hands are completely clean. It's reports, like you said, that's coming out that basically he coached, Jokic and Murray, quote unquote, hard, but nowhere near as hard as the other players. And we seen it with the series with the Lakers, with them winning the finals, and they still was talking about, yeah, who's your daddy after they done beat the Lakers. A level of maturity wasn't there with um Mike Malone, which is where, from what I heard from different accounts, from Chris Broussard mentioned it's like kind of what the owner did. You hate Booth so much, Booth hates you so much, y'all both gonna go. I'm not dealing with two immature kids. They both don't like each other. Booth wants to run the team his own way. Mike Malone doesn't want to play young players. It was a bad marriage in general. Miles, what do you see happening for them though? They still have the playoffs. This is, they said, tied for the latest firing of a head coach. 50 years ago, Hubie Brown got fired with 3 games left. The playoffs is still happening, and they're in the playoffs. They might end up in the play-in, depending on how they end off the season. But what do you see happening for them in the playoffs?
They could be a first round exit depending on the matchup that they get. Like in the West, it's very close. 3 through 7 or 8 are all separated by one game. So there's a lot of movement that could happen over the next week. They could finish third or fourth, or they could drop all the way down to seventh and have to play to get in. So there's a lot of moving parts with that, and it's a weird timing for firing your coach. Even if there's tension or not, I always feel like, even with the Grizzlies doing that with their coach, I'm like, I feel like they should have just let everything play out, play the season out, and then if you want to move on, move on. But to mess up the chemistry of the team, um, it doesn't make sense to me. So for Denver, I could see them being a first round exit. There seems to be some issues going on with this team. Sure, it could be just a Mike Malone thing, but I feel like it's also deeper than that. If he's not able to reach the players, and like he said some of these guys, they're willing to, kind of work hard, and they want to watch film, and they're going to watch film and try to see what's going on. And in that presser, I'm feeling like he's taking shots at different veteran guys on that team. Russell Westbrook, I feel like, is one of the main guys that is getting the shots thrown at. And sure, he's gotten a lot of shots thrown at him over the last few years, but he's a guy who just hasn't seemed to change his game. And I know that Jokic wanted him on this team, doesn't really fit. So I'm curious to see if they still playing big minutes in the playoffs, knowing that he's not a shooting point guard, knowing that he's a downhill guy. It's interesting because Jokic, he's great, but when he's not on the court, they struggle. So I'm curious what the interim coach is going to do come playoff time, because that's a lot of pressure to put on a guy leading into the playoffs, is come up with a game plan. Even though I'm sure the assistant coaches are the guys that come up with the game plan for how they're going to attack different teams. But um, yeah, the matchup matters. If they match up with the Lakers in like a 3-6, the Lakers are going to knock them out.
Can we be honest on the podcast though, real quick? They have no chance of doing anything in the playoffs.
No.
Like they're not a threat to do anything. They don't have the shooting to compete and make a real run in the playoffs that you need. You gave that up when KCP walked out your door. You gave that up. You gave the defensive versatility. You let Bruce Brown walk out your door. And Jeff Green, who was great for them, let him walk out the door and go to Houston, I believe. So it ain't we're not talking about a team that's gonna have any chance of doing anything special. The owner said it perfectly. Just go out there and have fun. He literally said that. Go and have fun. That's what he said. He understands. And also another thing is Mike Malone's not to blame for their shortcomings as a team. He masked it. He was a good enough coach to mask some of those deficiencies, but they were never able to shoot the ball the way they were in the past. And when they matched up with a really good team, and you saw them play the Lakers or play Boston or play OKC, those issues reared their head. They can't compete with those teams because they don't shoot the ball at that clip. They don't. And you're playing Russ. He was playing Russ like 28 minutes a game. It was a heavy workload for Russ throughout the year. That's an aggressive workload for a team that's trying to win something. You cannot play that guy that many minutes. You can't do that. And so if Booth is telling him to play somebody else over Russ, and hey, Mike didn't listen, that's where Mike could take some culpability. I agree. Even though Russ is a proven player and understands how to play the game, he only understands how to play the game one way, like Miles just said, and he won't change. And he won't hear the criticism and take it and be like, okay, let me work on my he's saying he said his mentality is F you. Like I'm Russell Westbrook. I do what I want. Why not? No, there's a lot of reasons why not, Russ. I can pull up the tape. There's a ton of reasons why you shouldn't. Why not? Why not? There's a lot of reasons why not. Stop. Just stop. I don't know. Just me.
Hey, we only 12 minutes in and he cooking already. But that was good. If y'all didn't catch that, the why not, that's Russ's slogan. Y'all, that went over y'all heads right there. Somebody else that it seems has the same mentality of F you. I'm Ja Morant. Does the gun celebrations again. Now he has a new one that he popped out yesterday, which was like a grenade. It seems like Ja just going to do what Ja want to do. Ja going Ja. With that being the case, they fired Taylor Jenkins. Should the Grizzlies look to move Ja Morant in the offseason?
I think Ja Morant's a dumbass. Point blank period. Real talk. Like he is stupid.
He's doing this on purpose now. Like he's not even.
What's the end goal?
There is no end goal. He's just being, like you said, he's being an idiot. Like,
does he want out of go?
Why do the guns and then you get fined for it, and then you're gonna do a grenade into the crowd? Like, sure, it's a celebration, but who does it? This is not Call of Duty. Like,
but nigga said he's gonna tweet out talking about some Ja this, Ja that. You were holding a real gun in real life on live, and now you're doing gun celebrations. You act like it's nothing. You're actually clinically an idiot. You're stupid. And his dad is dumb too. T is stupid because he's sitting there and it almost feels like he's enabling all the BS, enabling it. He's still young enough to where you could still corral this kid and get him on the right track. He's not like 37. He's not in his 30s. Like, where's the responsibility at? Where's the holding guys accountable? I don't, and this all ties back to Mike Malone too. I don't blame Mike Malone for saying, y'all, you guys aren't watching your own film. I have to show you guys why I'm not playing you. That's real. No one. The lack of accountability. It starts at an early age, bro. Like it starts at an early age. Clearly, when Ja was young, people were not holding him accountable. He was not held accountable. He was doing whatever he wanted to do because he has no respect for authority. And he has no concept and understanding of like, yo, like, look where I'm at in life. I have this incredible opportunity in front of me. I'm not going to mess this up. I'm honored and I'm humbled to be here. That's not the mentality he has. Like he got there and he's like, my stuff doesn't stink. Like I'm the guy. I'm him. Like if someone has something to say to me, they can kiss me. They can kiss my ass. Basically, that's the mentality. And to me, it's not only is it unacceptable. I sound like an old guy. I really do. I wish this was David Stern's NBA. If David Stern was the commissioner of this league right now, this dude would be suspended for the whole year. The whole year. He'd get a year suspension. And he would have never gotten the slack he did off the first incident. where he got it was a minute, like 25 game suspension or something like that. Remember, it wouldn't even have gone that way. He would have gotten a much longer suspension than that, and he needs that. He needs like a tough penalty. That's what makes people fall in line. Is like strict, tough penalties. You need that. He needs that. He's a child. He's actually a kid. That's the problem. They gave millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars to a child, and you're seeing the flip side of it. Some guys handle it well. LeBron's, Kobe. I can't say Kobe handled it well. I mean, Kobe had his issues. LeBron, God rest your soul. The LeBrons, I'm gonna use LeBron. I'm not gonna go to nobody else. But there are other people. Like some guys handle it well. This guy is not. He's not because he has people around him who want in, who want the money, and he's taking care of them. He's feeding their lifestyles and everything like that. And they don't want to say nothing because they don't want to get their water cut off, including T. That's T. T likes the Maybach. T's like, yo, you're gonna take the Maybach. I'm not saying nothing. I like my Maybach. That's what this is. It's sad, man. It really is sad. But Ja is just an idiot. And as far as where his future in the NBA, where he goes, I know I'm a GM. I'm not touching that. I don't care. I don't care how good you are. I'm not touching that. Like, no way. No way you're gonna bring the problems over here. I'm good, man. Stay a country behind you over there. We see how this thing goes, man. If you're in the NBA for a long time or not, and the way this thing is going, he's gonna do something stupid that's gonna get him or someone else hurt. That's where this thing is headed. I really believe that. And for the people who listen to this podcast and are gonna look at it, listen to this clip and be like, oh, he's making it a big deal for no reason, just finger guns. No, he thinks he's a thug. He thinks he's a thug. Like he really thinks he's about that life, and he's not. Your name is Demetrius. You're not. No one scared you like that. You're not even Ja. It's not even your name. Like I don't know, bro. I don't know. It's upsetting though.
The thing too to think about, at least on the Grizzlies side, right? And Maj, you could speak to this. If I'm the Grizzlies though, I'm trying to move him because you gotta think about this aspect too, though. Forget past of course, this plays a factor in him with the guns and the lack of maturity that seems to be prevalent with Ja Morant. The thing also that I'm looking to possibly move him or trying to, the style of play that he plays, how long does he really have in the NBA? The jump shot hasn't been improved consistently. So with this is old school for some of those that's watching that don't know about this. With the fall 7, get up 8 times mentality that he has when he's playing, who's to say that this even lasts for another decade? I would try to move him. That's just me. Your thoughts on what the Grizzlies should try to do this summer concerning Ja Morant?
I definitely think they should explore what's out there for him. I don't think he gets traded this summer, if I'm being honest, but I think they'll, start floating his name out there and seeing, all right, if hypothetically, um, what would you give up for Ja Morant? I'm sure there's a lot of teams out there that would be interested in trading for him. With all the antics, with all that, if they could find a way to reel it in and get him to grow up, this is a guy who a couple years ago we were talking about as an MVP candidate, top 20, 15 player in the NBA. Like the talent's still there. It's not like it went away. This year was a little different because of change in philosophy, trying to take the ball out of his hands a little more, less pick and roll, stuff like that. But I think they should explore the options that are available. Whether that's somebody in the Western Conference, like a Houston who needs a point guard at some point, and they have young talent to trade, or a team in the Eastern Conference that has a hole at a point guard and wants to make a splash. Like somebody's gonna try to make a splash. And I mean Memphis, how far have they gotten really with Ja running the things that he's been doing? Like they've gotten to what, the second round, maybe? That's not that you're not gonna win anything with Ja. And you're not winning anything in Memphis. You're not attracting stars. Like your number 2 is Jaren Jackson, who grabs 3 rebounds a game. So, like, it's cool. They had their time a couple years ago doing the gritty through the tunnel with Dylan Brooks and all them. But it's coming to a head. Like there's a fork in the road. It's, do we continue with this guy who just doesn't get it, and with all the warnings that he keeps getting, because these are just warnings. Like $75,000, that's a day at the mall for him. He's like, that doesn't matter to me. Like, I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna throw a grenade in the stands. So maybe he'll learn his lesson when something more comes out of what he's doing. But Memphis, they got to make a move at some point to get this guy out of there, because they're not. I don't know. He's in that Memphis area. Young Dolph. Who else? Some of these other guys. You trying to fit into that culture. That's not who you're supposed to be. Like, once you get the money, you're supposed to get out the hood. You're supposed to, like, leave that behind you. And I think he's taking the money and embracing the hood a little bit too much.
Can you win a championship with that guy as your point guard? Can you win a
Not,
championship with Ja Morant as
not
your point
with
guard?
that style. Not with that style of play. A guy who needs the ball and get downhill every possession of the game, and who can't shoot. He's a liability in the playoffs.
I think defensively is where the real problem is for him too.
Well,
You can
yeah.
attack that guy. That's just me. You can attack that guy. And I don't think he really walls up well because he's not strong. He's not like he's generally built like Jalen Brunson. You know, that so I think defensively that's a real issue. If you're gonna talk about his like his chops as a player, and like if you can win something substantial with him, you can really win a championship with that guy leading your team. I think he's got to be number 2 or number 3 in your team to win a championship. He can't be number 1. And so if you're doing that, and that's the risk analysis you're doing, Memphis, get out of the Ja Morant business and just look to get other guys in the building that really embody what you want your franchise to be about. But this isn't it. It's a bad look for the franchise. The behavior, all of it, it's a bad look for the franchise, a bad look for the NBA. And you know what? Like the NFL, I have my problems with the NFL, but this would never fly. This would never fly. Hell, you get 15, you lose 15 yards for rubbing your nose. You know, like you nothing. You get fined $100K for wearing the wrong socks. No fun league, man. Like but they keep the guys in line though. Now, when you got guys like Greg Hardy throwing girls on a pile of guns and they get to play it next weekend, there's a hypocrisy there. But the hard line what they're hard line about, and in the NBA and specifically Silver's NBA, they're not hard line about anything. Everything goes. It's the wild, wild west, and that's the problem. That's the problem. Ja Morant needs to take a hard fall. He needs to hit the ground and get the shock value of it. He needs that.
Adam Silver's a pushover.
He is.
I mean, with the suspension, I mean, he didn't learn his lesson, and you're still just gonna find him. Even with the All-Star game stuff, like you try to come down like you guys have to play hard, and he didn't. They didn't. They don't care about it. They don't care what you're saying. You're trying to sell this stuff to them, and they don't care what you're saying. There's no respect there. But they always leave these guys in power too long. Same with Goodell. Same with Silver, Manfred with the MLB. All these guys keep these jobs way longer than they should.
Yep, the players said it was too tough with David Stern. Now it's on the completely other side of it. Some would say too strict with Stern. Now this guy, anything goes, wild, wild west. Staying within the wild, wild west. Lakers won tonight. Luka had a very, very good game against the old team. Chance of fire Nico Harrison throughout the whole game in Dallas. The Lakers, though, this is how crazy the West is. Miles alluded to it. I'm going to read it real quick, and then I'm going to ask y'all about these Lakers squad. Lakers are the 3rd seed right now, 49-31. With this win, they have clinched that they will be a top 6 seed. They don't have to worry about the play-in. 4th seed, only a game and a half back of the Lakers are the Clippers at 47-32. The Nuggets are also 47-32. The Warriors are also 47-32. The Grizzlies are also 47-32. and the Timberwolves are 46-33. Now, the Lakers have to win one more game, and it will clinch the number 3 seed for them. Will the Lakers be able to get the number 3 seed, or do you see them dropping between 4, 5, and 6?
They're gonna get it done. They're gonna get it done. They have Portland on the back end, and with the way the Lakers play against below 500 teams, maybe you want to seal it up as fast as possible. But no, they're gonna get it done, man. I mean, they didn't rest their starters. They didn't rest LeBron on the back end of a back to back. They know they know what's at stake here, and I think they want that 3rd seed. They at home have been dominant this season. You want as many home games in the postseason you can get. And their record against the West has been incredible, almost identical to OKC's, which is why people talk about OKC versus the Lakers, and they prop OKC up on this pedestal. I think it's very performative. It's very performative. The Lakers are on that tier of being that kind of team. If you want to say the Lakers are below a tier of below Boston, fine. I will have that conversation with you. But don't tell me they can't go beat OKC in a postseason in a series. They definitely can. And Shea, OKC only has one way to hurt you, right? I really believe that they're really Shea centric, right? It's really him or nothing. They don't really run offense through Jalen Williams. They don't run offense through Chet Holmgren. It is all about Shea. I know I'm hijacking the conversation going about different places, but that had to be said. The other thing I'll say about the Lakers and why I think they're going to get it done, and this is a big picture thing. Austin Reeves is Jalen Brunson. Austin Reeves is Jalen Brunson. What I mean by that is Jalen Brunson's career trajectory and where it went. That's Austin Reeves. It's not different. It's the same. If Austin Reeves is averaging 20 points, 21 points on this team with those two guys, with those two high usage guys, LeBron's taking a step back because that's just who he is, right? Kids take notes. But at the same time, like he could, if you put him on another team, he would be phenomenal. I mean, let's say he was in Detroit or I don't know, Orlando or name a team, man. Like Sacramento, he's a guy who's getting 25 a game. He could be at the top of a team scouting report and still go crazy. He's that talented of an offensive player. Him and Jalen Brunson don't get to it the same way, but it's not about that. Don't think about it that way. The fact that I have to say that's scary, by the way. But it's that you really got to look at it like the career trajectory is the exact same. Like this guy, Austin Reeves, what came into the league undrafted. He might be the best undrafted player I've seen. Period. I think he might be really. Like if I have to think harder about it, but don't tell me Ben Wallace because I'll slap you in the face. So Austin Reeves has been nothing but incredible since he's gotten to the NBA. He came in as a role player, and you didn't know where he was going to fit in, and all of a sudden his offensive game just blossomed, and it was on tape at Oklahoma. He was doing it at Oklahoma. He was that kind of offensive player there. But it just opened up. He had the opportunity to become this guy here in the NBA, and he's taking advantage of it. He really is an all-star type of player. That's exactly what he is. They have a third all-star on that roster. They have three. They have three guys. It's a luxury, man. So credit to him because that's a lot of hard work that goes into being that level of player, especially when it didn't look like it was gonna go that way for you. It didn't, like no one expected it. But that takes a lot of hard work and dedication to stick with it. So man, good for him and good for the Lakers that they have him. But that's another reason why they're gonna get the job done, man. They're gonna get the third seed and LeBron and them are going to get a week of rest. You can kind of tell LeBron trying to pace himself as down the stretch. Another thing, too, I think part of the reason why they've lost some of these games is because LeBron's out of full throttle, in my opinion. I hope it's not because of the injury, but I hope it's just him, pacing himself like I'm saying. But even if it is the injury, he'll have time to rest if they can get that third seed locked up and they get a week with all the planned festivities. They'll have a week to rest and get into that first round series against whoever they play against. But they got a great chance against anybody. Lakers are 5.
So, and Miles, of course, you could chime in on this, right? If the playoffs started today, I don't know if the audio was working. The playoffs started today. Right now, they're seeing the Warriors in the first round.
Damn it!
I'm hoping because it's a four-way tie. They all have the same record, and the Nuggets and who was the other team has the tiebreaker on top of them. So, me personally, I'm hoping. I'm hoping the Nuggets lose. I'm hoping the Clippers lose, and they able to move up. Golden State.
Tom, can we also just say too for the people like they're gonna misconstrue this. So the Warriors fans they'll get all horny when they hear this, and they'll get all excited because they think that Lakers fans are running from them. That's not it. You don't want a series that taxing in round one. It's gonna be a taxing, physically and mentally draining series to start, and that's tough, man. Like that matters. There's a war of attrition in the playoffs. That the hits, the body blows start to compound, and you start to move slower. Like that's the way it works. Like the Lakers saying the Nuggets in round one last year. It's the same concept. It's just early to see a team that good, that early. You don't want to do that if you can avoid it. I do think they would beat the Warriors. I think they beat them in 6 if they saw them in a series. I firmly believe that. I do, but it would be a hard fought 6. It'd feel like a 7-game series, and that's what I'm saying. With Quentin Post trying to be Bill Laimbeer and Draymond Green trying to clothesline guys going down the floor. It's just going to be a nasty series. And then Jimmy and the nastiness he plays with. Jimmy plays like he hasn't eaten in 5 years. He plays with a hunger. He plays like he grew up in a shelter. That's how he plays basketball. He plays like a really grimy game. And so I just don't want to see that team that early, but that's why. But make no mistake about it, they beat them. Just saying.
Hey, so you mentioned undrafted. It might not be a far fetch. Some undrafted players that are in the NBA that are considered some of the best: Ben Wallace, Fred VanVleet, Nas Reed, Udonis Haslem, Jeremy Lin, Lou Dort, John Starks, Bruce Bowen. Those are some names out there of undrafted NBA players. Somebody that we know is going to be drafted and more than likely the number 1 overall pick is Cooper Flagg. With Cooper Flagg coming in, we've already waxed poetic of what he could be and what we see him and all of the sort. Where do y'all think is the best fit for Coop? Because what we have said is don't send Coop to an organization where you need him to be the number 1 guy, where you put that LeBron James level pressure on him. He needs to be in an organization with some talent already there, where he can be that second or third best player, and he just gets to play hard and impact winning. Some teams that are part of that conversation that could get Coop: Jazz, Wizards, the Hornets, the Pelicans, 76ers, Nets, Raptors, and Spurs. Cooper Flagg's best fit for his career.
I like the Wizards, honestly. I think they did a great job drafting this year. One of the best jobs I've seen in a few years, honestly, with getting Carrington and a couple other wings on this team. You got Sarr, second overall. Unbelievable. And once you got rid of Kuzma, and I'm sure they'll get rid of Poole at some point, but they've got a good young nucleus to build around over there in Washington. So then if you bring in Cooper, I don't want to say it's like a college team, but these guys can grow together a little bit. They can figure this out. They've got guard already there now. You're seeing it right away these last few games, how well he's been playing. Bub. Sarr has stepped up over the last 10 games or so, and he's looked good in spurts when healthy and not having to deal with the craziness that's the Wizards. But if they're able to get that number 1 pick and draft Coop, I think that's the best fit. I know there's other teams like possibly the Pelicans who seem to always get lucky with the lottery, or the Jazz, where I would hate to see him go to the Jazz. I would hate it. But Washington, I could see Coop go crazy in DC.
Yeah, I think DC is a good fit. I think a place, and I'm a homer. I think the Nets would be a nice fit for him because I think Jordy's such a great coach. It's really about the coaching. And I think they just play so hard as a group that it's not going to fall all on him. It won't work that way. They play together anyway. It's just the way they play. Plus, there are worse places to be. You know what I mean? But we're gonna say best fit, and you're gonna name all those teams. Look, Philly's a great fit for him, and so is San Antonio. San Antonio is a nightmare situation for the entire league. Okay, him going to San Antonio pretty much all but guarantees that team's going to win a couple championships down the line. All right, like the San Antonio Spurs level, like Oklahoma City level dominance in terms of the young talent you're getting. That's what you're looking at if you go get him and you pair with Victor Wembanyama and all that stuff. And I'm still skeptical about Victor Wembanyama's long-term outlook from a health perspective in the NBA. I was always worried about that. And obviously the injury he has now is a freak thing. It's not really it's not his fault or physical in that way, but I still worry about it. Just guy that tall and that long and athletic. You get bridged the wrong way one day, you may not get back up. You know what I mean? It doesn't take much for the tower to fall. Got hit at the right spot. So that's just me. I don't know, but I think those two teams are a good fit for him. I do like the Nets for him too. I think that also is a really good fit too. But if Philly's a nightmare situation as well, they bounce back nicely if after inevitably getting rid of Embiid, because Embiid's gonna leave. Embiid's out of there. All right, they're gonna roll him out of town. They're gonna send him somewhere else, and I think they're gonna move on from that era of Sixers basketball. So we'll see. But yeah, I think those are two situations right there. If he goes there, like, come on, man, like it's a tough situation for all of us to deal with as basketball fans. If you're not fans of those two teams,
I think that's all facts. Like you said, there's a couple teams that, Lord, please do not send Cooper Flagg to. But for the team to do well, but also some teams where it's like, hey, Charlotte, please don't send them to Charlotte. I know that'll keep them in North Carolina, but don't send them to Charlotte with LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller and Miles Bridges. That would not be good for his career. Adam Silver would definitely
the Charlotte Convicts.
Adam Silver would definitely, you ain't did nothing. You need to step in with that and make sure that that does not happen. A player that went crazy in March Madness, Greg and Miles have mentioned him before the tournament even happened. Walter Clayton Jr., player that you watch his game, a lot of people that were tuned in liked his game before the tourney. The tourney happens, they win the title, he goes crazy. You have players like Jay Williams saying Walter Clayton Jr.'s game is like a marriage between Dame and Steph. You can make the case that he could be the second or third pick in the NBA draft. He was projected second round before the tournament happened. Is Walter Clayton Jr. first round pick, and how high does he go?
Oh, for sure. He should be a first round pick. I think he'll get knocked because he's a senior in college, and they always knock guys who stay in school longer. When I thought staying in school was a good thing for people coming up, but the fact that he's older, he stayed in college, he developed. Like everybody knows his story. He was at Iona, transferred to Florida, and then had this meteoric rise this year to be an All-American and most outstanding in the tournament. And when you look at his game, I do see flashes of Dame in there where he's hitting these fadeaway shots, and the three is automatic almost. So I don't want to shoot that high, but I mean, I think he could be like a Dame level player. But I know the teams that are drafting that high, they're going to go for some of the younger guys with higher ceilings, like the Dylan Harpers and a couple French kids coming out too. But I think he should be in that top 15, top 20 range. He's good enough to do that. And whether you see him as a lead guard or a two, I mean, you can't teach shooting. That's the one thing that he has going for him right now is he can shoot the hell out of the ball. So I think there's a place for him in the league. I think he could be a really good player. Maybe like a CJ McCollum, something like that, where he's a good number two on a playoff team, makes big shots, can handle it if the main guy's on the bench. So something sort of like that.
I could definitely see wherever he ends up getting drafted, a team that should be trying to definitely go get him, the Orlando Magic. They need shooting badly. Shoot, even Washington. Those are the two worst shooting teams in the league. 31% each shooting from the 3-point line. But floor is yours, Greg.
I was just gonna say I have questions about whether or not he's a starter in the NBA or not. Like if that's where I projects for him, I have questions about that. Like I'm not saying he's not worthy of a first round pick. He certainly is. I don't know. Like he looks like he has short arms when you watch him play. Like you know what I mean? Like he looks like me and you hooping out there a little bit, just from a measurable standpoint, playing with those guys that are tall and athletic and super, just freaks athletically. But there's no doubt he can play, and I think he's a first round pick. And I think in this NBA, with the way it's spaced out, if you can knock the shot down the way he can, he's going to have a place in the NBA. I just don't know if it translates to being a star. I don't know that I see that. I think he's tough. I just don't know if I see like star or like consistent starter in the NBA. I think he could be a spot starter in the NBA. But this clip could be on freezing cold takes one day. He could be an all-star and everything, and I own that. I own that. That's why I'm here.
We shall see what comes of his season coming up. I think he definitely will be a first round pick. Switching over to baseball, we talked about it in the chat when it first happened, when it first came out. Yankees, what was it? Got the record or tied the record for most home runs to start off the season in the first 3 games. Homer after homer after homer. And, the reports came out about the torpedo bats. The torpedo bats. Now that everything has come out, we realize it's not illegal. MLB doesn't have an issue with them using the bats. Do you think the conversation and the lore about it is overhyped and made bigger than what it really is?
Yeah, I think there was a bigger deal made out of it just because, yes, a few Yankees were using it, and yes, the Yankees were mashing that weekend. So it was the hot topic. Everybody wanted to talk about it. But I do think the torpedo bats are good for baseball. When you look at baseball as a product, because of how good the arms are now and how hard these guys can throw with movement. That somebody can throw a two-seam fastball that starts inside on a lefty and ends up in the righty's batter's box. So like there had to be something that eventually was done for hitters to improve a little bit. And when you look at the makeup of the bat, it makes sense to move a little bit of the weight down to the label, where yeah, normally it would be a jam shot. You're breaking your bat on a ball inside, but now you have more bat basically to hit with. So I think baseball's kind of in a lull period. Like, sure, they got Otani, we've got Judge, but you're not. It's not like the steroid era where you're seeing guys hitting 50, 60 home runs. You're not seeing guys hitting for 360 average. Like this is a pitching league now. Pitching is a premium, and that's why whenever a guy hits the market, people are throwing a lot of money at those guys. So I appreciate the mechanics behind making this bet. I appreciate guys who are taking the time to do their research and work with some of these different instructors to make these bats customized for them. Because what are you doing if you're not trying to get better? Like the bats are helping you get better. Especially, I was listening to them talk about Anthony Volpe, who he's been up and down since he came up, and they noticed that a lot of his hits were kind of on the label of the bat. So bringing the meat of the bat down a little bit, spreading out that weight, that helped him, and he's playing pretty well to start off the season. It's early. The bats. I've heard people say it's not the wand, it's the magician. Like you still got to be able to hit the ball at the end of the day. So the bats can only go so far, but I'm a big fan of these torpedo bats.
Well, why wouldn't you be?
You should be too. Lindor's
Why wouldn't
raking
you
now.
be? Yeah, whatever.
Lindor's raking now. So
Man, nothing to do with the bats. That's just him getting comfortable playing in New York, being the captain of the New York Mets. I know it's not official, but it will be official soon.
what?
But aren't these
What
torpedo
type
bats
of
banned?
what type of bat does he use?
Are these bats banned? He was using one.
No,
What are these bats banned? Have they not been banned?
they're not. They're
I was
not
reading.
going to be banned.
Okay. I was reading something. Maybe it was just a false report. Twitter is dog crap these days. But okay. I mean, look, man. Like, it's legal. It's fair. I mean, everybody's using it. I thought the Yankees were just trying to get a leg up on everybody else, and no one else was using it. That's certainly how it seemed, and it's certainly how people in the media made it seem when we got introduced to them. It was through the Yankees, and they hit 12 home runs and all that stuff. They do play in the Little League ballpark, so. And that does help them when in terms of hitting the ball out the park and everything. So we can't just blame it on the bats. The dimensions are really nice over there as well. We should go take a batting practice over there one day, Miles. I think me and you hit some balls out. But it's cool, man. Like, look, if the MLB's gonna allow it, they clearly want the long ball. Chase dig the long ball. They say that it's what they want, more offense. But there are teams that are pitching really, really well in the MLB right now as well. Right, like the New York Mets, who are leading the league in team ERA. They're the best. They're the best with no ace, like Miles said. No ace. They're the best. They're the best. I just want to make that very clear. They're not second. They're not third. They're not fourth. They're the best. I just want to make that. Manaya's not even back yet. Sorry. Tom Manaya's not back. What a club.
Staying over there with the Yankees, and for our Mets fans that are listening, trust me, we're gonna get to the Mets. Staying with the Yankees, Aaron Judge is off to a hot start, 6 homers, which is tied for the most in all of the league, and he has 18 RBIs, lead in MLB. Miles, Greg has alluded, it don't matter what he do, regular season, need to see it in the playoffs. What's your thoughts as a Yankees fan, seeing him off to this hot start? Or do you agree with the sentiment of Greg, like, I need to see this come playoff time?
I mean, yeah. At some point, he's going to have to, become a prime performer in the playoffs. They said the same thing about A-Rod, who is an all-time great. And other sports, you've seen Peyton Manning, who struggled in the playoffs until he finally broke through. So he will break through at some point. And I'm fully confident in that. This is a guy who is one of the best players of all time. Like, we haven't seen guys hit like this without using, enhancements. It is what it is. Like, you can say what you want. I know Greg wants to bring up the playoff stuff, and that matters, but you can also appreciate greatness too. Like, you're watching history right here. Like, this is arguably the best player in the game right now. Only reason that you would argue that Ohtani is better is because he pitches. Just like Travis Hunter. He's the nope, I'm not gonna say it.
Okay, the only reason why I would argue that Ohtani's better is because he pitches, or is it because Ohtani shows up in the big moment, hits and clubs home runs in big moments? He has cojones. That's what he does. He shows up when it matters the most.
He does. Homies. He's got homies. He's got a lot of homies.
Yo, you know what? Another thing too, I'll say, this bothers me. Okay, yeah, Judd is great. Enjoy it. Awesome. I'm not cool. Enjoy history. Awesome. When did the Yankees turn into this? Aren't you guys about championships and all that stuff? It's not what this is about. So why would it be an afterthought? His performance in the postseason. Why would his performance in the postseason be an afterthought? Why would that not be the thing you're waiting for? You gotta be waiting for. You gotta see this in October.
You said it's an afterthought.
You made it sound like an afterthought.
I didn't.
Back on tape. It's on tape though.
It's April.
It's on tape though. The eye in the sky never lied. The stream yard camera don't lie. None of it lies. Like, it's on camera. You just made it sound like a complete afterthought. You were like, oh yeah, Greg's gonna bring up the postseason, but like, there's no but. Like, it's all that matters. That's all that. I don't give a shit.
All that matters.
That's all that matters.
We just made the World Series.
That's what
We're
matters.
going to be one of those teams that are up there again to make another World Series run.
All the more reason why that's what matters. That's what I'm saying. If you guys were some bum team where you guys had no chance of getting in the postseason, cool, enjoy it, man. Sell your bobbleheads, sell your gaffles, do all that. I don't give a damn. Sell the merchandise, sell the Judge hot dogs, sell them. I don't care. But this is about the postseason. If you're going to be there at the end of the dance and you're going to be trying to make a run to go to the World Series again, then his performance in the postseason is really the main thing that matters. Are you going to hit when it matters? I don't give a damn. You can hit 67 home runs this regular season. That's awesome. If you get us there just for us to lose, I'm going to be pissed off as a fan. That's the way fandom works in every sport, right or wrong. Right or wrong.
That's what happens. But what month are we in? It's April. You're trying to take a time jump.
Nah, it's okay. I know what this is. You're enjoying what's the ride called? The merry-go-round. You're enjoying that. You're on that shit going up and down, and you're enjoying the merry-go-round. You got your hands in the air. You're enjoying. Okay, enjoy the ride. That's fine. Enjoy. It's cool.
You're the one who's jumping up and down for the Mets when y'all gonna run into the Dodgers too.
I know what matters. My priorities are very much in line. I have not made a big deal about anything. My priorities are very much in line. Get me to the postseason.
You're right,
and let's go from there. That's what matters. That's what matters.
You haven't seen anything that's mattered for the Mets in your lifetime.
Did I not just see that? I've been a World Series berth in my lifetime. I just saw a great postseason run. We damn near made it to the World Series last year. We would have beat y'all in the World Series if we played you guys. That your Mickey Mouse road to the World Series. That was a joke. That's okay. I keep telling you. You worry about all the wrong stuff. You worry about. You see, the second I start making sense, you want to start slinging arrows.
I'm not even saying that.
Y'all doesn't like that kind of stuff, bro.
Yo, it's so crazy that like, I agree. Aaron Judge needs to perform in the playoffs. Nobody's debating that.
That's what you gotta say. That's it.
All right, sure.
That's all that. That's what matters. That's what matters.
It could be spring training. He can hit home run. Yo, that doesn't even matter. It's not the playoffs.
Like, would you talk about a spring training home run for real?
Because that's what you're making it seem like. It's April. We've played like 12 games.
Yeah,
you gotta chill.
He's awesome. He's awesome. He's great. He's great.
Like
I'm just saying that if you're a Yankees fan, you got to be worried about the postseason with that guy. I think that's fair. I think we see. And this is okay. We're talking about it, so fine. This is what I was trying to tell you guys in the chat the other day, where I said that the NBA is the only league, the only professional sports league that has that kind of discourse where the media and the fans are tough on these guys when they don't perform when it matters. And what starts to happen is you could be great in the regular season and they'll discount all that stuff. Like if Jokic didn't have a championship and choked the year in the postseason, no one would care about the season he's having right now. No, not really. They'd be like, he don't do it in the playoffs. He don't do it in the playoffs. That's what they would say. He's unserious. Joker, yeah, he's a joker. He's a clown. That's what he is. That's what they would say. But you see, in the MLB, it's different. It's all cotton candy and Skittles and all this bull. So he hit some home runs in April and everyone's losing their mind. Oh my God, Judge. Yankees fans posting Judge on the Instagram page and reposting him and all that stuff. Yo, when did that organization turn into an organization that cared about anything besides what happens in October and winning champ? I always hear 27. If that's what's important, don't be a fraud. You need to hold that guy accountable and make sure that when it comes to that time, because he doesn't have Soto to protect him anymore. Soto can't cradle him anymore. He's not there to cradle that. That's gone. He's not there to protect him.
He was hitting behind Soto.
Soto. You know what I mean? I mean it figuratively. You know exactly what I mean. When it came down to it, Soto outperformed him.
It's cool.
Soto outperformed him. Trying to get out of this on a technicality. I'm not hating on Judge. Just do it when it matters. Just do it when it matters.
Said that he's not Ohtani. He's not better than Soto. He's not better than
Ohtani. He's not better than Ohtani. We can talk about Soto. He's not better than Ohtani. I'm not willing to have that discussion. Let's not do that. Don't do that. But what I will tell you right now is my point about the discourse in MLB being much softer than the NBA. I think it's a fact. Okay, because no one's out here like hammering this guy. No one. He hasn't LeBron for years.
Play 180 games.
What does that mean? That's more time. That's more time to fry his ass. That's more time to fry him up.
What?
Fry him. That's
So
more
we're gonna talk
time.
about this for 8 months?
Yeah, you do. Tone.
You're
Is that
delusional.
not, Tone, is that not what we do in the NBA? Oh, we don't do that in the NBA?
Sure do.
Okay, so what are we talking about? Why can't we? Why can't we? He's so you can't handle it? You trying to breastfeed this nigga? That's what's going on, bro. I don't like that. I don't like this at all. I don't like the tone of this conversation. I don't like what's going on. This is a grown man making $390 million, whatever it is, on a contract. We can hold him accountable for the fact that he does not hit in the only time that it seems to matter. Yeah, I think that's fair. Call me crazy. Call me crazy. You all the MVPs, but when it's time to be an MVP, though, you're not an MVP, though. When it's time to be an MVP, you're not an MVP. Well, LeBron got his feet held to the fire early in his career for those reasons, right? Dallas, we were killing them. They were killing them. Couldn't catch a break. It didn't matter that LeBron took a team in 2007 as a young man, not even chest hair on his chest yet. With Mo Williams, the second best player, or Zydrunas Ilgauskas to a championship. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. All that matters when he got swept. But we don't have that kind of discourse with players in the MLB. Why? Why? I mean, look, it's healthy. I'm not saying it's good for them. It's nice, but we don't hold them accountable.
It's different, though. It's way different than any other sport. Because these guys might get 2 chances, 3 chances in a game where they legitimately have a chance to make an impact. 3 at-bats in a game, as opposed to what? LeBron or Luka or all these other guys taking 20, 25 shots a game. So
that's a fair
it's a lot. It's a lot harder to judge these guys. Like, sure, Judge needs to step up in the playoffs.
For the caliber of player he is, with the 3 chances you get per game to give me offers as often as you get me offers, that's upsetting. That's all I'm saying. I think you can agree. I think that's fair. Okay, I've seen guys deliver.
I think before last year, the playoff numbers weren't that bad. But last postseason, he didn't step up. It happens. It happened to A-Rod, and people murdered him for it. And then he finally stepped up in the playoffs in 2009. And
there's also, you know what? That's a good point. They did murder A-Rod for it. A-Rod was a lot more relevant in pop culture-wise. People didn't like A-Rod. How relevant is Aaron Judge? Is he even that famous?
What do you mean?
Because we don't seem to care about his performance. Is he even that famous? Is he even that? Is he what does Stephen A say? Box office? Is he box office?
Yeah. What is it? What type of question is that?
I don't know. I mean, no one's talking about him the way we're talking about A-Rod. We were killing A-Rod. That's a good point. We killed A-Rod when he came. A-Rod didn't perform. It felt like A-Rod mattered. It felt like A-Rod was a bit bigger than the sport when he played. It doesn't feel that way now.
Judge doesn't matter. Judge does things that nobody else is doing.
Okay, who cares? No, like I'm asking a real question. Like sometimes people say "who cares" rhetorically. I mean it. Like who cares? Like who seems to care about it? Because we again, the scrutiny ain't there, and he plays in New York.
So you don't think he gets scrutinized? Yo,
by who? Michael K on the radio? No one cares about Michael K. Big head ass on the radio at 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
What do you mean?
That don't matter.
You have the radio, you have the newspapers, you have all the outlets.
You read the newspapers?
That follow baseball.
You still read the newspapers? We don't read newspapers no more. It's 2025.
Okay, you're right. It's digital now. People read the digital articles. Sure, they're not getting papers flung at them by a 12-year-old.
I'm just saying, man, the guy got to hit when it's time. That's all. It's great that he's playing well. I'm not saying that he isn't great. He's great. He's great. He's great. One of the best players I've ever seen. Sure. But can you do that when it matters? Because I check. That's what matters the most, right? Like I could have 30 points in a game or whatever at a random YMCA run, but then like if I missed the game-winning shot, I don't feel like I played well. I think Tone seconds that thought. In fact, Tone don't got to say nothing. I've seen Tone crash out over less. So I know that Tone feels that way. Okay.
Looking over Subway Series, the other team that we was talking about, the New York Mets, they are currently 8-4. As Greg mentioned, they are leading the league in ERA with 2.10. They also have 8 pitching wins and 118 strikes, which is 4th in MLB. Now, with this 8-4 start, should we pump the brakes on the Mets' hot start?
I don't know why you pumping the brakes. The pitching is sustainable. They've got the best pitching coach in baseball. I keep saying that. Hefner. I keep saying that. Like I mean it, man. Like and so I don't see why we pump the brakes. If anything, slam the gas. Slam the gas. That's what we got to do. And look, if the Mets want to, they got flexibility. They don't have Sean Manaea back yet, and he's a hell of a pitcher, obviously. And then they're gonna go. They can go out there and get an ace. They have the artillery to go get that done. They can. They can make a mid-season trade that completely swings this thing in their favor, as well. And the way Alonso's hitting, he's hitting like as a contract year. I'll tell you that. He's hitting like it's on back to bring truck up. He's hitting like that. So I think that you gotta look at this and you gotta really enjoy this for what it is and understand too, leaving this meat on the bone because Soto isn't even really like playing like Soto yet. He's getting on base at a ridiculous clip, which is what this he's just a great player. But like the guy hasn't even gotten going yet. Like teams are trying to pitch around him, and Lindor starting to wake up a little bit, right? This thing's really gonna go crazy when Vientos starts playing better for baseball and hitting the ball a little bit better. That's when this thing's really gonna pop off. But yeah, man, like they're not even hitting the ball great right now, and they're doing this. Like I think you can slam the gas, man. They're a good baseball team, a great baseball team. And they've got to just if they're going to fill a hole with the ace pitching, they can. But as you can see, they're not starving for it because they got guys in there that can pitch at a high level. Griffin Canning's giving me 8 innings again. Like, come on, man! Like that's Hefner. Griffin Canning. So this team is a damn good team, man. They're a well-run organization, is what they are. They're a well-run organization, and I think the sky's the limit. I really believe that, and I think there's moves they can make to close the gap between themselves and uh, you know any other team. And think about it this way too. I saw Vladimir Guerrero come to town. He was giving hugs to everybody and all that stuff. The Jays saw it too. The Jays opened up their purse. 14 years, 500 million. After they played the Mets, it's not a coincidence. They knew if he hit free agency, where is he going? He's going to Queens. He's going to Queens. It's nice to be that organization. It's nice to scare. It's nice to scare common sense in the teams. It's nice to have that little level of sway. It's nice, man. Like it's nice to make grown men open up their purses. It's nice. Dig in the Chanel, dig in there and get the money you need to pay up because the Mets are around. Like this is what it is. We're steppers. That's what the Mets are steppers. That's what we are, bro. Like I'm telling you. So it's a good time to be a Mets fan. I'm thoroughly enjoying this. I know they lost today. That's all right. When you win 6 in a row, you can lose a game. That's fine. That's cool. I'm good.
Miles, before we end off the show, right? Do you agree? Because what Greg has said since the season started, they're the big steppers now in New York. I know you have the ability to be objective. So, seeing how this Mets start, do you see like, all right, this is a new Mets team. This is turning around. The pitching is doing good so far. Manaea's not back. They have a pretty crazy start off to the batting lineup. Lindor, Soto. Who's the other one? Back to back.
Nemo, what is it? Nemo up there? What do you think about?
Lindor, Soto, and
Alonso. Alonso's great. We should be talking about Alonso's great.
1, 2, 3.
Alonso got 15 RBIs this season. That's right there with Judge. He's been incredible. NL MVP early candidate. That's how great he's been. Clubbing the baseball, clubbing it. Yeah, and he can keep this thing going too. He can get hot. He's starting the season hot.
I'll let you give your input, Moss. I saw you had some laughter, some eye rolls. So, what's your thoughts on the Mets start of the season?
No, they're off to a good start. They've had some good pitching from what I've seen so far this year. So that was the main issue coming in. Don't know how the rotation would hold up. And sure, it's 12 games into the season. So pump your brakes on being the 94 Braves. But they look great. They look great. And Soto's not even playing that great yet. Maybe it's the pressure, maybe it's the money, but Right now, he's not even playing like we expect him to, and he'll come around. He's way too good of a baseball player not to eventually step up. Same with Lindor. Um, so it'll be interesting to see them this year. They're one of the best teams in the league. So I mean, they signed Soto. That was a huge deal for them. And playing in the NL, they're right neck and neck with the Dodgers for best team in that side of the league. So I'm looking forward to the summer. Looking forward to seeing what happens come October. Seeing if they can get some revenge against the Dodgers this year. Because I mean, the Dodgers have an all-star team. That's it's if you took the Dodgers out of the NL, I mean, the Mets would be right up there to be favorites to go to the World Series. But they do have to face the Monstars in LA. So time will tell how much of a threat they are to the Dodgers' reign of terror over there in the National League. But whenever they do get Mania back, and I mean, some of this pitching will level off at some point. Like these guys are pitching well, but it's the start of the season. A lot of these guys didn't play as much in spring training. These first couple weeks, this first month of the season, you're going to see a lot of inconsistencies with hitting. So, but it's a good start. 8-4. It's an ideal start for the Mets compared to last year. Last year they started face in the dirt. This year they standing upright. So
Hey, ending off the show with this. If by any chance you locked in with this, Greg, of course, hop in. The Masters is here. The Masters is here. So over the last three, it's been two winners. Scotty Scheffler has won two out of the three. John Rahm won. I might be saying his last name wrong, but he won 2023. John Rahm. Who do you have as a favorite to win? Some are saying it's Rory's time to get it done. He hasn't won it. Scotty, he's in. They say he's in his bag. It's he could play good, play bad. It don't phase him. He just show up and do his thing. And they say it's a monotonous. He just goes to work and be great. Who you got winning it?
I mean, yeah, Scotty's definitely got to be the favorite. He's the reigning Masters champ. He's going for three of the last four if he wins this one. So he's got to be the front runner right now. Rory's having a great year to start the year. Two early wins at the Arnold Palmer and the Players. So, um, but some sleepers like Aberg, he's going to be right up there. He was up there last year before he fell off in the fourth round. You got DeChambeau, who was same thing. He was right up there in all the majors last year, and I feel like he's hungrier than ever to try to get it this year. Um, it's, it's wide open. Like you got Kepka. Kepka always shows up for the majors, but I mean, I'd love to see Rory finally close out the career Grand Slam and get a Masters, get a green jacket. It's something that's eluded him his whole career, and he hasn't won a major in over a decade. So to finally get that off his back for many reasons, I feel like this is one of the best golfers to ever play. But because he doesn't have as many majors as someone like Phil Mickelson or Arnold Palmer, he can't be in that conversation just yet. But he won all those at such a young age that if he's able to get one, I think he could just rattle off a couple just like that. So I want to say Rory. That's my main guy I'm taking to win. But my hot take to possibly win, I'm gonna say Ludwig Aberg. He's this is his second or third year on the PGA Tour. Now he's already worked his way into the top five. That kid is good. He's really good. Like he's got perfect mechanics. Hits the ball straight. His swing works on every course. So, um, and he was up there in a couple majors last year in his first full year on tour. So, I think if he can start off well, first couple rounds, going into the weekend, moving day on Saturday, then he has as good a chance as any to win the Masters.
And if you locked in, you want to see Ludwig and DeChambeau, and you want to see Rory, they all have a tee time starting around 112 and 123 to lock in with them. Scheffler, he has a tee time starting off. It's in the morning time, 10:15 a.m. Like he mentioned, Rory, this is the only thing that pretty much he just got to add to the resume. When you come up to it, and golf is not the easiest sport, man. It takes a lot of skill, a lot of practice to really figure it out. But Rory, at the age of 35, if anybody could get it done at this point, it could be Rory, because you already know the only way at that age to still be that prevalent and that good, Rory stays ready, so he don't got to get ready. Bench Mob, we out. Peace.